everyone and welcome to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how to crochet the webbed lace stitch and how to turn that stitch into a glorious infinity cowl. If you love all things crochet and are passionate about the craft, then you have definitely come to the right place. Hit that subscribe button and the bell notification so you don't miss out on any of my future crochet videos. Now, all the information for this infinity scarf that I have made, everything you might want to know about it from the yarn to the starting chains is in the description box below this video. So don't forget to click show more to expand that box where you'll find all the information down there. All right, let's leap into how you crochet the webbed lace stitch. So to start, pop a slip knot on your hook. Now the pattern multiple for the webbed lace stitch is 7 plus 4. Now what that means is you're going to chain in multiples of 7, 7, 7, 7 for as wide as you want your project to be, then add 4 chains at the very end. Now I'm only going to be making a small sample in this tutorial. So for me, I'm going to chain 21, which is my multiple of 7, then add 4 chains for a total of 25 chains. That's my 25 chains to start. Now we're going to be working into the 5th chain from the hook. Now this loop on your hook does not count as anything. You want to count these completed chains only. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And into this 5th chain from your hook, place a double crochet stitch. Chain 2 and skip 5 chains. Now if you have trouble identifying your chains, if you pull that last stitch that you made, it elongates this chain so you know that one you've worked into and you want to skip the next 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Then into the very next chain, we're going to place 4 double crochet stitches, all into that same chain. Chain 2 and then work a double crochet stitch into the very next chain. Now we're going to repeat this tiny little section for the full length of your chain. Chain 2, skip 5 chains, 4 double crochet stitches into the next chain, chain 2, then double crochet into the next. So chain 2, skip 5, 4 double crochet into the next. Chain 2 and double crochet into the very next chain. Keep doing that all the way along. Once you reach the last 6 chains, chain 2, skip 5 chains as you have been doing, and we're going to end in that very last chain with 4 double crochet. For row 2, you're going to go ahead and chain 4. Then turn your work and place a double crochet into the very same stitch, that first stitch that you just chained from. Chain 2. And now we're going to skip all of these stitches here and work directly into the chain 2 space in between your double crochets of the row below. So you've got your 4 double crochet here, your chain 2 and your 1 double crochet. We're going to work into this space here. So ignore all this and straight into this chain 2 space, we're going to place 4 double crochet. Chain 2 and place another double crochet into that same space. Chain 2 and same again, skip everything until this next chain 2 space in between your 4 and your 1 double crochets. Over here, straight into this space, same again, 4 double crochet, chain 2, and then a double crochet back into that same space. You want to repeat this all the way down the row. Chain 2 and into the chain 2 space in between the 4 and the 1 double crochets of the row below, place 4 double crochet, chain 2 and another double crochet. Chain 2 and repeat all the way along. Once you reach your very last section here, as I've already come to it on my tiny sample, we're going to chain 2 and end in this very last space at the end here with 4 double crochet, just working straight into that space. Now this is a lacy stitch, so it will tend to bunch up, but if you pull it out, you can clearly see what you've done. Now that last row we did was the pattern repeat row. You want to repeat row 2 for as long as you want your project to be. I'll do a tiny recap of row 2 for you now. So we're going to chain 4 and then turn your work. Place a double crochet in that very first stitch where you just chained from. Chain 2 and working straight into this chain 2 space in between these sort of shell sections with your 4 and your 1 double crochets, straight in there, 4 double crochet, chain 2, 1 double crochet, all into that same chain 2 space. Then chain 2 and repeat that all the way down the row, leaping straight into the next chain 2 space in between your double crochet stitches. Then once you reach the end, you're going to chain 2 and place 4 double crochet into this very last space over here by your chain 4 when you start the rows. So you can see you are offsetting as you go. So you're going to repeat row 2 for as long as you want your project to be. Once it has reached the desired length, go ahead and chain 1. And then if you want to join to make an infinity scarf, like I'm about to show you how, leave yourself a really long length of yarn because we're going to be sewing this together. Snip it and then pull that length of yarn through that chain 1 you just made and pull it tight. Now grab yourself a large eye needle and we can get to work sewing this into an infinity cowl. So here's my scarf before I'm joining it into an infinity cowl. I've got a lovely long length of yarn for sewing up. I've got my large eye needle, which I'm about to thread onto the yarn. And the other thing I did was I also lightly blocked this entire length. I blocked it before beginning to sew it up as I am now, just so that it is easier to work with, because of course these lacy type of stitches can be annoying and baggy at the bottom. So I definitely advise, if you've got a wonky piece, block it before this stage. And what you want to do is you want to lay it out completely flat, and then this bottom piece you want to bring underneath. So essentially fold it in half. So there's my bottom of my work, and I've just folded it in half like this. Hopefully you can see what I've done. Literally just folded the whole thing in half. And then I'm going to simply whip stitch these two ends together. So I'm going to go under the loops of my stitches on the front, and I'm going to catch the chains at the back. And I'm just going to do a very basic sewing job. Sewing is not my forte, so I don't like to make these things any more complicated than they need to be. I'm just doing a very basic, simple whip stitch. You can, of course, take your time to be a lot neater than I am being here. But just sew the whole thing all the way along. Once you've sewn all the way along the end, I really hope you're being neater than me. In my defense, this is a nightmare trying to do this via a camera screen. So that's my excuse and I'm sticking to it. Nothing to do with my terrible sewing abilities whatsoever. I'm just going to go ahead and knot this at the end here. And then it's simply a case of weaving in your ends. And then that'll do for now. and then turning this bad boy inside out to hide all your awful stitching. But your scarf will now be joined into one long infinity loop, which should hopefully be enough to wrap around your neck twice. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial. I hope you enjoyed learning how to crochet the webbed lace stitch and that you go on to make beautiful cowls of your own. So until next time, happy crocheting!